Hey guys, it's ICC Cup Fitz back here with another game for you. It's going to be another ZVP. The Zerg spawning in the bottom right on Neo Aztec will be 8 teams DeSPA, sGs.Lawls, or 8 team, or sGs.Lawls is playing for 8 teams DeSPA. Supporting Team Courage is going to be, Prophecy is going to be the purple Protoss. So we'll have to see how this goes down. Neo Aztec is an interesting map. It tends to be pretty odd style. Most players will take their natural up here, and then tend to take this gasless third, and then their fourth will be this gasless fourth, as it is harder to secure, so they'll take the easier secure base. Now, in my experience of this map, I have only seen top spawn versus this spawn, so I'll be interested in how this bottom right-hand spawn, plays the game out differently. And that's pretty much the map for you guys, and yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out. Now, for last game, it was really exciting to the point of them until they paused that game. That's where it got really messed up, so I'm wondering if there was something that happened with the connection that got it off sync with both players, and then it just didn't work out the right way. I really don't know what happened in that game. There was nothing that would actually tell me otherwise what happened, other than the fact that they just didn't know how to play late game. That's really all I know. Maybe they just know their builds down to the point of that part, and that's probably why they're D-ranked players, maybe, because that seemed a pretty high level game up to that point. But yeah, I really don't know what happened. Now, for sGs.Lawls, he's going to be averaging 146 and maxing at 186 APM. Now, for the Protoss Prophecy, he's averaging 199 and maxing at 326. So it's pretty high max. We'll see how it goes. It's kind of interesting because I always thought Zerg required more APM, than Protoss, but I guess it's vice versa, or it just, at least for these past 2 games, the statistics tell me otherwise, or it's just kind of an outlier in the greater scheme of things. So Zerg will be doing pool before hatch, so might be getting up a couple lings, but it looks like just that, going to be seeing if they can poke. Looks like he's going to be fast expanding. 2 cannons before, so identical game, identical build order from last game. Won't really be doing too much. And yeah, so both players are going to be fast expanding, so we'll be seeing more of a macro style game. Nothing too crazy, no all-ins, at least right now we won't be seeing that. Sorry if you could hear my ferret, he's trying to shift himself doing that. So, the last game, I really have no idea. So, 8 team DeSPA will be up ahead 1-0 in this series, so we'll have to see. Yeah, identical build. We're going to be seeing the same thing. It seems like Zerg really likes to do this kind of sneaky third base play where they kind of try to put it way out. But they do this in response to a forced fast expand. That's kind of how it goes down. Gateway, yeah, this is the exact same build we're seeing from last game. We'll see if both players will not do something stupid. Like that. And again, I could press these buttons and somehow get. So he has his gateway on 4. He has his probe on 9 and his nexus. His 2 6s on 9 and 0. Well, that's weird. I don't like that at all. I use 1, 2, and 3 for my nexuses or whatever I use. Couple lings here. They really shouldn't be able to break through this. I don't think. But yeah. And we'll be seeing that they won't be spawning in the north position and just getting a concave to make sure that nothing can escape. But he doesn't know that the pros are outside his base. So hopefully you can check out that there's this little risky third out, and he doesn't really have much to deal with it except for a couple of lings. But Zerg tends to have more map control. Wow, playing really risky. Going for a 4th hatch before even gas. Wow. Playing really, might be going for like even more mass ling style here, as it doesn't look like he's getting any kind of gas, just going for a more heavy drone, trying to maybe just send a mass ling into that and just hope it just kills stuff, but I wouldn't know. Again, I'm going to go off the basis that he's just getting really greedy and there's the gas, so I don't think he's going to be going mass ling style, but that would have been pretty interesting to see if he would have done that, as he could have probably gotten away with it too, and might have actually just ultimately killed his opponent. But he will be getting Stargate Tech, and that's probably the problem why, if he went Mass Ling, might have been problematic. But that probably would have hit, you know, before he would have even got this Corsair up and running. But he will have to get the Hydra Gen up pretty shortly to deal with the Corsair harass coming very shortly. And yeah, so last game, I have no idea what was going on between Light Orb and Raveland. It really made no logical sense of what happened, except for the point where they pressed pause and they maybe got off sync. I know that has happened to me with a couple online games, but looks like we'll be able to break through these lanes with no problem. They're like nom 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 like. So we'll see if he'll be able to even do any damage. We'll be getting a creep colony in response to that on both bases. Even in the main, no, it doesn't look good. But he's going great for the circular. So it looks like he's gonna be doing that three base Muta style, which can be pretty hard. But he might even be just going more for mass Hydra later on. Depending if he gets these upgrades on the Hydra Den, that will probably tell us what the tech path is really going to be for both players, or for at least the. And it looks like the Protoss should pretty much fall here. Link should be able to clean up those Zealots from the and checking for a third, even though the third's down here. Actually, kind of weird looking for a third up there because most people will not expand up there. But yeah. Corsair will be popping out shortly. Getting some upgrades. Yeah, this is the same build. We could literally copy-paste this whole build order, and they'll probably be the exact same from last game. And yeah, so what's new with you guys? You know, I'm Brood War casting, and it's lots of fun, and Zealots versus Ling. Zealots will most likely win. Oh, Zealots are unupgraded without charging. Oh, will he lose it? No, he won't. Okay, good. I need some caffeine. I'm gonna drink a Coke. Here, I need a break for a second. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, I'm back in my casting chair, and let's do this thing. Let's hopefully I'm not yawning too much right now. So, what is going on with the Protoss? Protoss is getting more upgrades. Zealots are chilling in the front door of his base and be like, yo, dude, you can't totally kill me and stuff. And I watched some NCIS, pretty good show, getting +1 air upgrades exactly like last game, and getting Templar Archives. Man, this game is like a complete repetition of last game. Hey, I guess it's just standard play, I guess, to come out of it. But yeah, so Links are just trying to get some scouting information in. I don't think it's really gonna work, as Zealots tend to do pretty good damage. I believe that's 18 damage per hit. Lings have no defensive upgrades, so they will die in 2 hits from the Zealots instead of 3. So that, I believe that's a pretty good hit by them. That's probably why you get the upgrade pretty early on. Getting +2, getting that really quite early. Looks like Zerg will be expanding. No. Sorry, drone. Never mind. Hydra upgrades are coming out. I believe that is speed coming up. And Zerg has been pretty much untouched. No harass. Looks like doesn't look like much of harass is going to be coming out of the Protoss. Not being nearly as active as I'd like him to be with this Corsair. Actually, it might be. No. It looks like he's being pretty active. Having his shields regen. Looks like he might coming back in here for another hit. But we shall see. Indeed, looks like he'll be pushing out with quite a bit of Hydra. Could do maybe a bit of damage, but he will have upgrades, and he will have Storm, I believe, just in time for this push. No, he will not actually. But that is I believe that's a control group full of Zealots right here. But if they do target fire the High Templar, that one's down, which will only leave 1 Storm left. So it will be 52 supply to 83. So Zerg is actually behind in supply. So this push isn't really going to do too much. Unless he'll definitely have to push back. Trying to micro his Hydra as best as he can. But yeah, he's just going to have to push back right now. Zealot speed is done. So Hydra, he might lose 1 or 2 more Hydras. But nothing too much. We'll be pushing back. Doesn't want to fully commit and not lose all of his forces. We'll be doing another wave of units. It looks like he will. Getting supply back up to 58. So if he's able to get this mass Hydra count, he might be able to do a lot of damage, as these won't have too much energy, but he will have enough for 3 storms, and especially, I think his best bet is probably not attack this front door, probably go around here and then try to attack up here, or even split up his army and go up both ways, just to make sure the storm doesn't hit his army entirely. But that is a lot of Hydra right there. Upgrades for the Zerg doesn't appear to be very active. We'll be getting some lurkers into this, but it looks like Protoss looks like he wants to push out and do some damage right here. Pretty looking base, and we'll be getting, even double upgrades. I didn't even see that. So getting +1 armor about halfway done here. We'll be picking off 2 or 3 Hydra here, which, it's just 2 or 3 more Hydras that are just not there. Storm not doing too much. Nice Storm over there, and yeah, it looks like there's a lot of stuff going on, but it looks like Protoss will be able to win this engagement, being pretty cost effective. At least I only see dead Hydra bodies all over the field right here, or carapaces, or whatever the skeleton, Hydra skeletons lying all over the battlefield, and we'll lose that Sun Colony. It looks like this third might get denied here, and it looks like Protoss will be able to just push in here and do a lot of damage, and the Zerg doesn't really have anything to deal with this. Wow. I'm really quite surprised. And will he be able to deny this expand? It doesn't look like he's just going to be pushing up to do some more damage, a couple more Hydra. Doesn't want to lose his High Templar, but it doesn't look like it doesn't even matter. He has so many Zealots and just going mass Zealot High Templar will do damage, but he doesn't have a Observer up. Will he have an Observatory up any kind of shortly? He doesn't have a robotics facility for these lurkers, so this might do a lot of damage here, but he will get the storm off. We'll do some damage. We'll leave it with 15 HP or 14 before it gets that regen. It looks like these Hydra might have to, these lurkers might have to push back this push for right now at least, but he did deny this third, which is really, really, really good by him. He doesn't want to have this macro up too much. And I think that's a pretty good trade for the Protoss right there, really denying that expand. Now allowing the Zerg to sit back and macro and get up a huge army. 48 supply to 120, 130. So definitely the Protoss is definitely ahead in this game right now. Will he try to take a sneaky expand? It looks like he will be doing that with that drone. Just that. It looks like he'll also be taking his own third. So it'll be 3 base to 3 base, or 2 base to 2 base, 3 base to 3 base now. So we'll have to see really how this kind of plays out. I don't know if Zerg has to do some kind of harass here. Maybe some mega drop into the main, try to kill the supply, but it's going to be pretty hard. Yeah. And even getting that Dragoons into play now. I believe he does have range, and it looks like he'll be pushing out once again. That army, it looks pretty difficult to deal with. He will have quite a bit of lurkers here to deal with that, but will he have... He will have an Observer plus Storm, so those lurkers will most likely fall pretty quickly. We'll be trying to get in good position with these lurkers, though. Will the positioning be good enough to deal with this? It is a big supply difference, 57 supply to the measly 58 supply to the nearly 140 supply of the Protoss, and it looks like sGs.Lawls is looking, Prophecy is looking very strong right now. Did snag off a Dragoon kill. That's always nice to have. 138 supply to 58 right now. We'll be taking this little sneaky expand in the top right expansion. Isn't doing another wave of units right now. Probably being too preoccupied going with this push. It looks like he will deny the third though, which is a nice little victory for him, allowing him to get up his third up here. And we'll see if this will do anything. Lurkers are undefended. Oh, and he's gonna be able to push up a nice storm going off too on all of the high. And not only, oh wow, that's just a lot of Zerg blood to die. Oh. And that just completely wiped the floor. He's continuing to get upgrades, +3, +2. I know he's not getting +2 armor, but he has +3 on the way, so he's 2-1 right now. Zerg has no upgrades to speak of, and yeah, he's not really being able to do anything. We'll be getting this base up, hopefully operational shortly. We'll be moving up here with a couple Hydra, but they will all just ultimately fail. This push wasn't really being cost effective at all, losing 2 Dragoons for at least 6 or 8 Hydra, not being very cost effective with the units at all. We're getting at least 6 lurkers to try to deal with this huge push coming down. 140 supply to 44, and they're just not really getting up that massive army supply. And wow, Protoss is looking super strong here with those upgrades. Those early upgrades are really paying off right now. Yeah, and main's been pretty much uncontested for. Finally getting that Evo Chamber up, but, I'm surprised by it. He didn't get the Evo Chamber up early to deal with the Corsair, as it just seems kind of standard to get the Evo Chamber somewhat moderately earlier, and it looks like it just became outside space. He will have the space operational shortly, but he will be pushing up here with all his pretty much all the units, and he's just wiping through all the Zerg forces here. There's a lot of Dragoons, and there's the GG.Lawls, and wow, and pretty nice game by the Protoss player, not gonna lie. Zerg, I think you did pretty alright. You did the standard thing, but, you know, it was just you didn't keep up the, you weren't able to outproduce the Protoss, so I think the Fitz tip of the game here is, you know, just try to get up another hatchery or something, you know, and just produce. I saw opportunities where your APM may have been limiting you, which is where you may want to improve your APM more a bit, is just to produce more and more units, or utilize all your APM instead of spamming it. I don't know if you were utilizing it or not at all, but the fact of the matter is, I think it's just try to produce more stuff. I think your build was really key, was really solid. It's just you didn't produce enough units off that, you know. And I think that will really help you. Upgrades, either get more units or get down your Evo chamber, get either 1 or 2 Evo chambers a bit earlier and start pumping up the upgrades. Because Protoss will most likely try to out-upgrade you. And if you can combat those upgrades with your upgrades or outnumber them, sometimes you could normally trade with the Protoss army pretty effectively. Because as I saw, your army just kind of fell, and really kind of, Protoss didn't really lose many units, and that's why their supply was so much higher than yours by the end game. So, just something to think about there, and yeah, have a great day, guys. Fitz will be back for game number 3. Game 3 will be actually Light Orbit, showing us again on versus Sentinel, be a PvP on Jade coming up right next. So, that means since sGs.Lawls Lost Prophecy did win, it will be a 1-1 series so far. So we'll have to see what team comes up and ahead next time. Thanks for watching, guys, and peace.